They were from diverse backgrounds, born on 3 separate continents, and came from 8 states across the young Union. One was a slave, another was an abolitionist. Several were highly educated, and one could not read at all. All were pioneer missionaries of the Georgia Baptist Convention. Humphrey Posey, a Virginian by birth, was appointed to work among the Cherokee in 1817. He soon established the Valley Towns Mission near the Georgia-North Carolina border, ministering to the Cherokee until their removal by the Trail of Tears in 1839. Lee and Susanna Compare, natives of England, were appointed to work with Creek Indians in 1822. They established the Withington Station near the Georgia-Alabama border, serving 6 years until the removal of the Creek Nation west. In 1837, Edward Abel Stevens and his new bride Elizabeth, a Boston native, sailed aboard the bark Rosabella from Salem, Massachusetts, on their way to Burma. Edward was Georgia Baptist's first native-born foreign missionary. His work included Bible translation, education, publishing, and general evangelism over a 50-year span. Joseph and Juliet Binney were appointed to Burma in 1843. They were New York natives, but Georgia became their home when he became the pastor of First Baptist Church of Savannah in 1837. His ministry in Burma spanned 26 years, with a focus on evangelism and theological education. After her husband's death, Juliet served 7 more years as a teacher and translator of English text into the Karen language before her own death. A scholar, her accomplishments rivaled those of any male missionary serving in Burma in the 19th century. The first state missionaries in Georgia were itinerant preachers, paid between 75 cents and $1 per day. Elisha Perryman was one of Georgia Baptist's earliest itinerant preachers. His biography records accounts of great revivals and a riot on one occasion in Watkinsville. In his lifetime, he traveled over 120,000 miles on foot and horseback, preaching the good news across Georgia. Another early state missionary was church planter David G. Daniel, founding pastor of the First Baptist Church of Atlanta. Daniel was serving in southeast Georgia when the Board of Missions transferred him to the growing railroad town of Marthasville in 1847. By the time he had organized a church and a building was built, with the aid of $120 provided by the convention, the rapidly growing town had changed its name to Atlanta. Daniel later served under appointment of the convention as a chaplain during the Civil War and as an associational missionary in the new Sunbury Association after the war. Three missionaries sailed to Africa between 1849 and 1851. They became the first Georgians to serve under the Southern Baptist Foreign Mission Board. Thomas Jefferson Bowen was Southern Baptist's first missionary to Nigeria in 1849. He later married Lorana Davis and served 7 years before illness forced their return to Georgia in 1856. They briefly pioneered work in Brazil before failing health required their return to America. Isaac Roberts and Caesar Fraser were both African-American missionaries appointed to serve in Liberia. Fraser was born in Africa, enslaved, and eventually brought to Augusta. He became a Christian and later was called to preach. His former master granted his freedom and paid his expenses to Liberia. Isaac Roberts a barrel maker by trade, was born a free man in Savannah and was born again at age 30. He served as pastor of the First Bryan Baptist Church in Savannah before his call to missions. The Roberts family sailed from Savannah with a group of freemen bound for the American colony in Liberia. Roberts had a long and fruitful ministry in Africa. Charlotte Diggs Lottie Moon was a teacher in Cartersville when she responded to God's call in 1872. She became the first single female missionary appointed from Georgia. Correspondence between Moon and women in Cartersville prompted the first collection of a Christmas offering that would eventually be named the Lottie Moon Christmas Offering for Foreign Missions. They were all pioneers facing hardship, opposition, physical danger, and loneliness. Each responded to God's call, and Georgia Baptist heard God's call to hold a lifeline of spiritual and financial support. God still speaks and is calling today. Will others say, "Here am I, send me"? And will those remaining hear the call and continue to hold the ropes as they go? If Georgia Baptists remain faithful to their Lord and true to their past, then the answer will be a resounding yes.